Alright, hi everyone. It is raining quite heavily outside actually today, and it's been, a bit of thunder and lightning and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bad day at the moment. In a couple of hours I'm up a place called the Stag and Hound that I mentioned about before, do a bit of role playing. Hopefully as a player I might try, to GM something, but I'm going to see how things go. I think what the video's about. The other night I seen a interesting film. Actually, it's one of this woman's few really good movies, and her name is Emilia Ivanovich or something. I can't remember her name properly, so I do apologise for the mispronunciation. She's in the Resident Evil films, which a lot of them have been crud. There's been a couple of reasonable films out of the whole, 5-6 films that have been made. I mean, 2 of them are reasonable. First 2's just awful. And the last one I seen wasn't very good either. So yeah. And she was in The Fifth Element, which is a reasonable film, but not exactly, out of this world fantastic. But this film was called Faces in the Crowd. It's to do with a serial killer that after he has sex with them, rapes them and kills them, he cries over the body. Now this woman stupidly, which I would never ever have to, you just don't do it. You don't, no matter, what you as a female, you don't walk on your own anywhere. You've got to make sure you at least have somebody with you at all times. She ended up walking, on her own and that, and she got attacked by this guy. She hit her head on as she was falling, and when she woke up, she could not recognise anyone's faces. Each time she looked away and looked back, it's someone else's face. There's no recognition there. And actually, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. It was just one of her best films. It's also a film that shows she can actually act, even though she seems to be, sleepwalking through the Resident Evil films. Mind you, it is easy cash for her. But basically, I found that an interesting premise. If you relate that to RPGs. Now, what happens if your party members could not recognise a face? Either a fantasy setting, a future setting, or a modern day setting. I'll just say example a medieval setting. For some reason, either due to a curse or something, they cannot recognise faces, so they've got to go by other means. By body, by the size of the body, by what people wear and stuff like that. And it was just an interesting premise for a RPG idea, or a curse or whatever. Having the party members where they cannot recognise faces at all. Every time you look away and look back, it's someone else's face. Or you can even have, every time they look away and look back, it's one of the arch villains' faces, or someone they've already defeated faces, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I just thought it was interesting as an idea. I thought it would work really awesomely in an RPG. It really would. And I mean, they'll have to find a way of, being able to, recognise faces again, either removing a curse or something like that. But yeah, the film is called Faces in the Crowd, and I think it's one of her best films. It's one of those hidden gems that hardly anybody really have noticed as a film, and but to me, it was one of her better films. A film that she shows that she can act. Yeah, it was just an interesting film and just an interesting idea for an RPG. So, what do you think on that as a premise for an RPG? The whole party somehow end up where they cannot recognise a face whatsoever. That's it. Till next time.